maybe. Or did you restream? Sure. I'm gonna drop links to the fucking Telegram. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind grabbing.
Welcome once again to Decentralize Now. I am Busted. Above me is Chemtrail. We have a lot to talk about tonight. If you're not tuning into Murder the Media, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. Tune into fucking Murder the Media. Tune into Decentralize Now. Tune into all the great shows here on Murder the Media. And make sure Decentralize Now is on Mondays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to check out my my compadre show here above me, Dare to Know. On Fridays at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, 7:15 Pacific Standard Time. We have a lot to talk about tonight, Chemtrail, do we not?
We do. We have lots to talk about, and hello to you as well, Lucky Angel. Hey, if you're watching, I see a couple of you guys watching on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to give us a shot at, I'm going to type it into our streams at dlive.tv. So if you're watching from Facebook and YouTube, screw Facebook, screw YouTube. Come on over to dlive.tv, escape the censorship. And we'll talk about some shit. We're going to talk about defunding the UPS. We're going to talk about how your uncle was right and the Democrats are the real Nazis. Richard Spencer is nominating Joe Biden for president. And, of course, I, Chemtrail, actually have a mustache. So let's get into it, man.
Before we say anything, before we get going too far, I just want to say it's a glorious mustache.
I think if I lose like 30 pounds, I'm going to be able to pull off that 80s bodybuilder look. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to do a lot of push-ups and increasing my exercise routine, and I'm going to look pretty dope. So, on my Facebook, because I have a lot of libertarians on my Facebook, and there's this chick on there who said 90% of the guys on my Facebook are fat, bearded gun toters with dad bods and no kids. And I fit like most of that description. And I think like a lot of people, actually meet that description. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shave the beard. I'm going to rock the mustache. And I'm going to earn it. I'm going to get rid of the double chin. So
I would have immediately responded with, yeah, and like at least one of the chicks on my page is a whiny bitch. No, I've got a video.
Go ahead, man.
I've got a video I wanted to start this show with. It is not what we're going to talk about tonight. It's a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight. It just shows the fucking hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. Just what fucking idiots they are. Let me get that pulled up for us real quick. It's not really what we're going to talk about. I just think it's funny. I just think it's a funny video. So let me get that added here.
In the meantime, if you're new to the channel, Murder the Media, go ahead and follow for some of the other great content.
All right, now I've got it pulled up in sync video. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
I'm back in the East Village.
Let me get it pulled up here. All right. Now, again, this is just a funny video. It's just funny. Just enjoy it, laugh. We'll have a good time. It's going to be a good show. Come on, sync video, you fucking cunts. I don't know why sync video does this.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm back in the East Village. Believe all women has been the mantra of the left since the Kavanaugh hearings. But do they really believe that? How important is it to believe women?
I think it's very
you
important.
Believe men. It's gotta believe women too.
You believe men. Why don't you believe women?
She just said it at the same time.
Yes.
Did it so
Well,
great.
of course,
gotta believe men. Gotta believe women.
we should believe women.
It's
Whoa, that was like that was a boomer with green hair. Let me back that up. Damn, that's a really old SJW. Holy shit. Good God.
We should believe women.
it's important.
It's fucking important.
And it will always be important.
I'm someone who was sexually assaulted, and yeah, it happened in high school, and I was told not to do anything about it because the guy was the star soccer player in high school, so nobody would believe me.
Absolutely important. No one believed me.
Do you think, what do you think the rules should be about that? Like so I was watching a documentary about prison in Germany, and there was a guy in this German supermax prison, which a German supermax prison really isn't that bad compared to what we have in the United States.
It's true. It's true.
But he did 20 years because he killed his wife, and he said, well, I was in an abusive relationship. She would beat me a lot. And then one day I snapped. Here's this woman saying, hey, she killed her abuser. She did 35 years. What do you think the laws should be about that kind of shit?
I don't know. My first reaction is if you're in an abusive relationship, get the fuck out of it and leave. Sometimes kids are involved. Sometimes property's involved. Sometimes maybe it's a car. Maybe it's a house.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of things involved there that like not everyone's just able to walk away from. Maybe it's financial stability. There's a lot of things that can cause people to not be able to get away from an abusive situation. That being said, if you're not actively looking for help, if you're staying there taking the abuse, I think a little bit of the fault definitely falls on you. Now, no one deserves to be a victim. No one should be abused, raped, beaten. No one deserves that in their life. And everyone has the right to defend themselves. And I think if you're in an abusive relationship that you feel you can't get out of and you snap one day and kill them, and you can prove without a shadow of a doubt that this person was putting your life in danger through physical force, there should be no charges filed.
Yeah, I think, proving it is difficult. I think, one thing keep in mind is that when people shack up, it can be difficult to leave. Like, okay, if you're in a city and you don't have like family or friends around or any of that shit, where are you going to get the funds to just roll into a new apartment? So it's definitely easier said than done.
Absolutely.
But somehow, but now it's easier than ever to record shit. So if you can record that, or somehow prove that your spouse is abusing you, yeah, I think it's just total self-defense. But I don't know. She go ahead.
I don't want to get too far off subject because this is just supposed to be something funny that we're watching. And by the way, before we get too far off, remember this old white lady right here. There was a person who I followed on Facebook, which I'm not a part of anymore. And she used to put up videos. She was in an abusive relationship to the point where like the guy wouldn't let her leave the house. So she started setting her phone up, and I saw the videos, dude. This guy was abusive. I mean, he would hit her and stuff. He would hit her, call her stupid, call her a cunt. I mean, he was this was abuse. So she started hiding her phone in random parts around the house and filming him doing this and posting it on Facebook. And because she did that, the response was so great, she was able to get out of that house, out of that relationship. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what I was saying to begin with. Personal responsibility. You need to take the actions required. You need to take the time. You need to do what's appropriate to get yourself out of those situations. Don't just be a victim and accept it.
I hear you. Let's see what else they have to say here.
I did 35 years in jail for killing my abuser. So I have very strong feelings.
Tara Reid, she's the one who's accusing Joe Biden of sexual assault. Do you believe her?
I think she's an employee of Trump.
No.
I think she's despicable.
Do you guys
That's
believe
terrific.
Believe all women, but not her.
No.
Do you believe her allegations?
Not that. The timing's a little unusual.
I don't believe her. The timing is also very bizarre. Also,
With Tara Reid, it just doesn't seem as credible.
I personally don't know why she's
Oh
coming
my
out now.
God.
she should have spoken up earlier, and we need Biden.
27 years ago? I remember 27 years ago.
Joe
I actually have the
Biden,
best
to be
memory.
fair, he doesn't remember what he ate for
God,
breakfast today.
dude.
I actually have the best memory.
You know, going back to the Brett Kavanaugh, I thought
Holy shit.
she was very credible.
Can you explain to us, to the audience, kind of the difference between Tara Reid's allegations and the allegations of Christine Blasey Ford of the
This is the guy that has the best memory.
Yeah, this is the guy with the best memory.
You know, I don't know if I recall, since my memory is so, to specifically say.
Yeah, that's one of the important things that's terrible about Donald Trump is he loves beer. It would suck if we had a president that you could have a fucking beer with. Donald Trump's going around saying he likes beer. Like,
Which is literally what they
fuck?
said about Obama the entire time.
Oh,
you could have a beer with him. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
he goes around saying, I like beer. Like, when did fucking Donald Trump say he likes beer? Oh my God.
Biden's not going around saying, "Yo, I love beer," and
It's frightening when people say they like beer. It sends a shiver down my fucking spine.
I don't know if you saw Kavanaugh talk, but that was just.
Don't tell people to do that, man. Don't tell people to
to
do
say
that.
that you-
He loved beer. That's crazy. Hashtag believe all women. Good, thank you.
Hey, have a good one. Bye.
Believe all women.
All right, peace, guys.
Believe all women.
Take care of yourself.
Now, the only reason I played that was to kind of show the hypocrisy of these people, right? I mean, that's their big thing, right? Believe all women. And I could say a lot about that. I mean, Joe Biden and the Tara Reid allegations are literally what killed the Me Too movement. You know what I mean? Like it or not,
Right.
It is. Because you got people like Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying, believe all women. We need to trust women. If women say they've been abused or molested, we need to believe them. They wouldn't say those things if it wasn't true. And then the Tara Reid thing happens. And I think Tara Reid's a drug addict, fucking stupid bitch who's looking for attention. I don't actually believe the allegations, mind you. I'm just saying the hypocrisy of these people to say, believe all women. Nancy Pelosi, believe all women. When they say that there's something against Kavanaugh, once there's something against Trump, but as soon as it's against Biden, oh no, we need due process. We need proof. You didn't need proof 2 weeks ago. You didn't need proof 2 months ago when it was against somebody you didn't like, you fucking cunt. And what we're getting into with this is just the hypocrisy of these people. Now we're going to talk a lot about the defunding USPS. This is something that's been talked about a lot in the media, and it seems to be that people are really going after Trump. Trump's trying to defund the U.S. Postal Service because he's trying to rig the election in his favor, right? Now, why this is so funny, is because I don't really know how to hop into it. We had a short discussion about this before we started the show. There's a lot to say here. Obama talked numerous times about cutting funding to the USPS. He talked numerous times about how inefficient they were. And when he said it, it was applauded, it was backed up, and it was supported by Democrats. But now you don't get that. Now you don't get that. Now the USPS needs to be cut because Trump is trying to fucking somehow steal the election because of mail-in ballots, mail-in voting. Let me take a step back and throw it over to you, Chemtrail. Is there anything you'd like to add? Because I have a lot to say on this.
Yeah, I think, God, there's a lot to say. I mean, I kind of want to get into the Lysander Spooner aspect of this stuff because this isn't new. So there's a lot to talk about. I kind of want to talk about the history of it, and then you can talk about what Obama said.
Sure.
Obama had some pretty based. Yeah, we'll go back into Lysander Spooner in a second. Obama had some pretty based things to say about the Postal Service. Apparently, I don't remember what year it was, but when he was president, he was lauding the benefits of like UPS, and he had some statement. I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but he made some statement about UPS isn't going anywhere. UPS FedEx isn't going anywhere. It's the Postal Service. It always needs help. So, Obama made this statement sort of defending the private sector and comparing it with the inefficiencies of the public sector. I think people are freaking out about defunding the Postal Service. I can't wait to defund the Postal Service. I want Amazon to completely replace the Postal Service. The Postal Service is a joke. It's completely inefficient. They're constantly losing stuff. They're overpaid. And they're not subject to market pressures. So why don't you talk about some of the stuff that you want to talk about? But I'm going to give a sneak peek. I want to talk about Lysander Spooner in a little bit because he had some interesting things to say about this. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, let me play that video you were referring to just a while ago. Now, remember, the Democrats applauded this. When he said this, it was applauded. It was revolutionary because a black man who was president said it. He's making history. He's the first black president. So everything he says is just to these people. You know what I mean? So here, let's check out the video.
Compete against the government. Legitimate concern. People say, well, how can a private company compete against the government? And my answer is that if the private insurance companies are providing a good bargain, and if the public option has to
now
be
he's talking about
self-sustained,
healthcare, so
meaning taxpayers aren't subsidizing it, but it has
it's
to
a great
run
argument
on
for
charging
healthcare.
premiums and providing good services and a good network of doctors, just like any other private insurer would do, then I think private insurers should be able to compete. They do it all the time.
Listen to this, guys.
If you think about it, UPS and FedEx are doing just fine, right? No, they are. I mean, it's the post office that's always having problems.
If you think about it, it's UPS and FedEx that's doing just fine. It's the USPS that's always having trouble. Now this is out of Obama's mouth. How could he say something like this? How could Obama say something like this? This is not what he was saying at fucking what's his face's John Lewis's funeral. He wasn't talking about stuff like that. That the government does a bad job at stuff. You know what I mean? It's fucking hypocritical. Now, Obama in 2012 cut funding. He cut funding to USPS in 2012, and then again in 2014, he tried to cut funding a second time and end Saturday delivery of mail. Now, apparently, when Obama wants to cut funding to USPS, it is considered a very progressive and great way to think about things. He's saving tax dollars. Oh my fucking God! But now, Trump mentions cutting funding to USPS. Because we all know that this mail-in voting thing is just a huge fraud. Right. It's just a huge way to manipulate votes. It's just a huge way to just and I have a lot of statistics on that. But I want, before we get into that, can you please talk about can you please talk about the history of this if you can? Let me hand it back over.
Well, there was a guy named Lysander Spooner, and he was a libertarian. He's very interesting. He actually founded something called libertarian socialism. So we had some things that we'll probably agree on, some things we probably won't agree on. But anyway, he became very frustrated at the price of mail during his age. So he was around the 1800s. So at his day and age, it would cost a letter to send from Boston to New York was 25 cents, which of course back then was, a lot more expensive, because taking inflation into consideration. So he wanted to create a company called the American Letter Mail Company. And the whole point of the American Letter Mail Company is that it was going to compete with the United States Postal Service. Now, the problem with that is that actually in the United States Constitution, the government is granted powers to operate the Postal Service. So Lysander Spooner, being the lawyer he was, stated that he is not trying to replace the United States Postal Service, but merely to operate alongside of it and to offer an alternative service. So his company, the American Letter Mail Company, was able to apply market pressures to the United States Postal Service, and he actually forced the prices of UPS to go down. Because anytime that you have a government service or a nationalized service, you're just going to pay whatever they want you to pay. You have to pay their prices. There's no alternative. So it's not subject to market pressures. As soon as the American Letter Mail Company came in, all of a sudden you have a competitor. All of a sudden you have market pressures. He was able to do it faster, quicker. In many instances, he was actually delivering mail for free, and he lowered the price of mail in the 1850s. So his company was shut down because the government, stated they had monopoly on that particular service. They probably didn't like the fact that he was exposing them for the frauds that they were. But it just goes to show that A, this service can be met in the free market, and B, it can be met more effectively, more efficiently, and cheaper than with government subsidies.
Now think of this, and I have it pulled up on the page here, so you guys can also read it. The rates were notoriously high in 1840s, and in 1844 he founded the American Letter Mail Company. In the 1840s, his let's see, where'd it go? His lasting legacy was the reduction in letter postage from 5 cents to 3 cents. Now think of 5 to 3 cents in 1844. You know what I mean? My dad's in his 70s, and he used to tell me he took a penny to the store and got a handful of fucking candy. Fucking 5 cents to 3 cents is astronomical. That is a large amount of money for the time. So for him to come in and take that kind of a profit away from the government, just by doing a better job and offering a better service, they shut him down because of it. Okay? That's... Jesus Christ, does that not speak volumes? I mean, the Postal Service has been an inefficient piece of shit system pretty much since its foundation.
Right. No, absolutely. It's inefficient, and I think we were talking about Obama's speech where he was talking about healthcare, but it just goes. The same principles are true for healthcare. Once the government gains control of healthcare, they're no longer subject to market pressures. They're no longer subject to the same things, and they can charge you whatever they want. We talked about it on this podcast many times that as long as these companies are writing things off of the public's dime, they're going to be good for it. They're going to have money. So, creating these market pressures... Free market will provide, right? Yeah, exactly. Putting in these market pressures drives the price down. There was... I want to find out more about this if Walmart's going through with it. But Walmart was doing shit... we're talking about healthcare. $30 for a checkup. You know what I mean? You just completely undercutting that type of shit. So the free market will absolutely do a much better job at providing most services. And the post office is just one of those instances.
Well, and they're just inefficient, and they've been inefficient, and it kills me. I just think it's insane to hear Obama sit there and say that the U.S. Postal Service has been inefficient since just inefficient. They're always having trouble. Obviously, the private-owned sector does a better job than government does. That's out of his own fucking mouth. That's out of his own fucking mouth. Oh, it just drives me fucking crazy. Now, as I was saying, let me bring this up and let me talk about this just for a second. President Obama would allow the cash-strapped U.S. Postal Service to scrap Saturday delivery and delay some required health care benefits under proposal in the White House. It was 2015, not 14. Obama's previous budget had helped similar ideas to shore UPS, which lost $5 billion in fiscal in 2013. The U.S. Postal Service in 2013 lost $5 billion. Let me elaborate on that just a little bit. The Postal Service has lost over $69 billion over the last 11 years, $3.9 billion in 2018 alone. Okay, so now you're talking about, so like, let's take a fucking quick approach at this, right? Well, the U.S. Postal Service, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. You know, we're talking about defunding a portion of the government that does an inefficient job, that does not do a good job. And they're all mad about this. These people are mad about this because they believe that Trump is using it to basically win the election, because we're going to be forced we're going to be forced into mail-in ballots. These are not absentee ballots. These are mail-in ballots. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference between an absentee ballot and a mail-in ballot, right?
Right.
And I hope I'm not jumping too far off. I have so much to say. There's so much in my head that I want to say about this. Now, let me play a quick video. Let me pull up the quick video. So these people, why does it keep deleting my fucking videos on sync video? What the fuck is going on? It's really
annoying.
The protesters? It's really annoying.
Gathering outside
video.
Yeah.
Is
this the protest? Yeah, I got it right here. They're playing right now.
Sorry, that was the remix version.
The NYPD police union endorses President Trump and his...
No, this is the NYPD.
This is the NYPD
endorsing Trump. Yeah.
Let me pull the link back up. For some reason, it seems to keep deleting the links on us here. Come on, baby.
But by the way, if you're joining us now, why don't you guys go ahead and click follow so you can join the Murder of the Media Network. Oh, you found it? There you go.
The U.S. Postal Service is a fundamental part of our democracy.
What the fuck are you talking about? The Postal Service is a fundamental part of our democracy? And look at this kid. Doesn't this kid look like he has like he looks like he's been drinking too much almond milk or something. He does not look like a healthy child at all. Jesus.
Oh my
God. The U.S.
It's an essential part of living in the United States. There's no other way we can have the mail delivered.
U.S. Postal Service is a fundamental part of our democracy. It's a necessary part of living in the United States, and it's not a service that should be taken away. I mean,
Email.
The news just came out this week that
It's called email, and it's sweeping the country.
All these disruptions were happening to the U.S. Postal Service. I've seen tons of activity, tons of discussion on my neighborhood listserv, actually, about neighbors who have been affected.
I love that this bitch in the fucking green shirt, like, just showed up, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in charge of this now. I have a bucket.
Is this just minutes of, like, people awkwardly clapping?
More or less. Now, let's keep in mind that these people they're upset, right? They're upset that there's funding to the they want to discontinue funding to the U.S. Postal Service, basically because they feel that this is being used to turn the election in Trump's favor, right? All because showing up at a ballot puts people at risk of getting sick. Right? This is all because of COVID. This is all because if people show up at the ballots to actually vote, they will get sick and they could potentially die. They could potentially contract this horrible disease that would ultimately kill them. Right? So we need mail-in ballots. So what do they do? What do they do in retaliation of the fact that, like, we shouldn't all be around each other because we can get each other sick? They rallied around each other and protested. Are you fucking stupid? If you can protest in person, you can vote in person, motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole thing of, like, you know, Donald Trump had his rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Herman Cain was there, and people were like, I don't know. There was that video to that female reporter. Herman Cain was at that rally, Bill.
Dude, they totally did that.
Herman
They said
Cain was at that rally. You know, like it was Donald Trump's fault that Herman Cain died.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you have hordes of like teenagers blowing things up on fire. They're not wearing masks, and that has nothing to do with the fucking spread. It's a selective weapon. It's a selective weapon.
Now, the whole thing about defunding the Postal Service is that They're defunding it because they don't want mail-in ballots because they're scared that it will somehow hurt Trump.
John Jolly says, I called this mail-in bullshit in March. November is going to be wild. November, I don't know what happens in November. Whatever happens in fucking November, the wheels are coming off this bitch.
Oh,
somehow.
I swear to God, they'll still be counting in December. They might even be counting into January.
Recount.
I honestly think this is all a big. And Trump has said this. I think it's a scam to try and maybe get Pelosi to take over as president. Now,
Jesus.
Over 223,000 mail-in ballots rejected in Nevada alone during the primaries. Okay, for showing up late. In Michigan, 6,400 in Michigan rejected for showing up late. Another 2,200 rejected for having no signature attached to them. Another 1,111 rejected because of a change in address between the time it took for them to get the ballot, sign it, fill it out, and send it in. And another 850 rejected due to death because people died before the ballot was counted. Now think of that. There's 3 million people. There's a little over 3 million people in Nevada. 223,000 rejected for various reasons in Nevada alone, right?
Damn.
Even the New York Times, which is a fucking... I think we can all agree that the New York Times is biased as fuck, right? Mm-hmm. The New York Times, and let me see if I can pull that up. Even the New York Times had an article about the fucking disaster that the primaries had become because the fucking Postal Service couldn't seem to get this shit fucking delivered on fucking time. Now, this is a left-wing newspaper. These are left-wing media. Mm-hmm. Admitting that this shit doesn't fucking work, okay? Now, are you trying to tell me that Trump went to the post office in fucking New York and fucking did the ballots himself to fucking, to manipulate shit? No, it's fucking retarded. Look at this.
Yeah.
Election officials in New York City widely distributed mail-in ballots for the primary on June 23rd, which featured dozens of hard-fought races. The officials had hoped to make voting easier, but they did not seem prepared for the response. More than 10 times the number of absentee ballots received in the recent elections in the city. Now, nearly 6 weeks later, two closely watched congressional races remained undecided, and the mayor delays in counting a dolge of 400,000 mail-in ballots. This is New York City. This is New York, right? This is New York. We're talking about a countrywide everyone in the country, okay? They couldn't do it efficiently in one shitty state. How the fuck are they going to do it efficiently all over?
Now, let me toss something your way.
Sure.
So, let's say a lot of people who don't care about the coronavirus are right-wing. Most left-wing people are into masks. Most people who don't care about coronavirus are right-wing. So people who care about coronavirus stay home and mail in. Most of it's not counted, and that allows people who don't care to march and win the election. You think this can actually go in Trump's favor?
I don't really know if it's going to be in anyone's favor. It's just going to be inefficient. The numbers are not going to be correct. And you do have a point. I'm going to go vote in person. If I have to show up at the fucking White House and hand it to Trump my fucking self, I'm voting in person. I ain't sending shit through the fucking mail, buddy. Yeah, not gonna fucking happen. Let me show you, since that's just New York. That's just New York, which is an inefficient shithole anyway. That's why everyone's fucking leaving. So let me read a couple other statistics to you. This is not mail-in ballots, okay? This is just mail in general. Mail in general. Oh my God, I'm going to send in a fucking, I want to subscribe to Sports Magazine. Let me send something through the mail and subscribe to Sports Magazine. In 2016, only 83.7 of the mail sent through the Postal Service showed up on time. In 2017, it was 85.6.
Damn.
In 2018, it was 82.5. You see a pattern here? You see where it's going?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
In 2019, 80.9. 20%. 19% technically of the mail did not show up on time. Okay? That's a potential 19% of votes that don't get fucking counted. right? And that's assuming that they signed the paper, they didn't change addresses, and they didn't die, okay? In 2020 alone, in the first quarter of 2020, only 78.2% of the mail sent through the U.S. Postal Service showed up to its destination on time, and in the second quarter, 83.3%. Now that's regular fucking mail. Imagine everyone sending in a mail-in ballot. Imagine the increase in the amount of people sending stuff to the U.S. Postal Service to cast their vote on a potential president. That's regular mail. You take what they're already dealing with, the amount of mail they're already dealing with, and increase it by, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say 20 times the amount. Do you think those numbers are going to get better?
No, fuck no.
Okay, so that's reason to give these people more money, right? Well, if we gave the Postal Service more money, they'd be able to deal with that inflation. No, because as I said earlier, $69 billion over 11 years. That's more than fucking Israel gets in 10 years by almost double. Did not make this system any more efficient. Every single year, and I started at 2016. I could have started at fucking 1998 if I wanted to, and showed the decrease in this. For 11 years, they've gotten $69 billion and have become worse at their fucking jobs. Giving them more money will never make them better at their job. It will never make anything fucking change.
If I do bad at my job if I have a position, if I have a job, and my performance, my energy, my effort is going down, but my salary remains the same, I have no incentive to increase my effort. Why does it matter? It doesn't fucking matter. If your income is not tied to your actual performance, there's no incentive to fucking perform. So yeah, they need to be subject to market pressures. We need another great Lysander Spooner. Bezos needs to save us all, and we'll fucking have drones flying around, delivering shit. The Postal Service has to fucking go.
They're never going to get better at their jobs. Giving them more money is never going to make them more efficient. It's never going to make the mail show up on time any more than it already does. And all they're going to do is increase the amount of mail flowing through the U.S. Postal Service. It's going to be an absolute shit show. It's going to be a shit show. And when it all falls down and doesn't work, they're going to still blame Trump for it. Chris Christie, I couldn't find the video again. I saw it earlier today. Chris Christie had an interview on ABC talking about this very thing, about how inefficient this works. It seems like these people in politics already know that this is a joke, but there's nothing they can do about it. They're powerless to stop it.
Well, yeah, there's nothing they can do. Well, it's in the Constitution. Let me give you this argument, because I used to talk about this in libertarian circles. Hey, well, what, the Lysander Spooner, let's have UPS take over, or USPS, or UPS rather. So if we start fidgeting with the Constitution at the Postal Service level, will that create a scenario where people will start fidgeting with the First Amendment? They'll start fidgeting with the Second Amendment. So is it better to be like, all right, keep your failing, terrible, inefficient Postal Service in order to maintain the security of the rights? No, I mean, I guess I kind of answered my own question, because it's not like they fucking respect those rights anyways. You know what I mean? It's not like they respect your Second Amendment rights or right to militia anyways, so I guess fucking why not? Just do whatever the fuck you feel like.
Dude, there's another story that we've talked about before on a previous show, and we'll end with this and we'll cut to a commercial real quick. It was in North Carolina. They were voting for, it was District 9 or something like that. It was predominantly mail-in ballots. It was predominantly absentee ballots. It's apparently a small district, and a lot of these people are in the military and other things like that. So there's a very large increase in absentee ballots being sent in. They were manipulated. They were stolen. They were withheld. In some cases, they were even abducted, and things changed on the ballots themselves.
Oh, awesome.
Now, that was in one district of one state. You don't think that's going to happen You don't think that's going to happen across the entire country with this? This is a disaster, and they are trying to make Trump sound out like, oh, he's scared. Trump's scared. He's trying to cut funding to the Postal Service because he knows he's going to lose. No, because he can see through the hypocrisy. He can see through the bullshit, just like me and you and everybody else watching this can. It's going to be a shit show, and I would not be surprised at all if we end up with Nancy Pelosi as president in January.
Let me ask you this. I want to spitball at you. Okay, so November comes around. It's fucking getting close, dude. I am. This is like the fucking worst year I've had. So November comes around. Joe Biden wins. Hey, thank you, War Pig, for the lemons and ice creams.
Thanks, buddy.
That. You know, War Pig. Joe Biden wins. What fucking happens? What does the country look like in like 30 seconds or less?
In 30 seconds or less. So, like, let's say first they have to flip the Senate, right? So let's assume they flip the Senate too. Let's just go full on chaotic scenario. Immunity, and citizenship for all these illegals, right? All these illegals that have no skills, have no jobs, have nowhere to go. It's going to be a shit show, man. We're going to watch the crumbling of our economy. We're going to watch all of this money go to a bunch of people that came to this country illegally. And not to get too far off, I know you said 30 seconds or less, but there's a man, as I said before, I have family who works in the healthcare system. This man, we'll call him Rodriguez. He's a Mexican.
Yeah, let's keep it close though, but go ahead.
Yeah, he's a Mexican. He's been here for, I think about 25, 30 years now. It took him 17 years to come into this country. It cost him thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do it, right? He believes, no, you do not make these people American citizens. He fucking fought. He tried. He scratched. He fought to become an American, and he came over here and he assimilated. And on the day he became a fucking American, he wore a suit and a tie, and he was the most proudest he's ever been in his fucking entire life. He has made a good career for himself. He has sent 2 daughters to fucking colleges. How is that fair to him? How is that fair to people that come into this country fucking legally and work their fucking ass off to fucking make something of themselves? And you're just gonna give it to a bunch of fucking pieces of shit that brought drugs over here in exchange for money? Fuck you! Fuck Biden!
No, my wife is an immigrant. My wife's from Canada. It took us 2 years. It took us about $6,000, multiple trips to Montreal. And they denied it. They denied our application. We had to constantly reapply. And then, so, you know, knowing what that cost our family, we get pissed when we see people just break the law and get rewarded for it. And almost like celebrate it. Like they did the right thing. They're undocumented people. Like
they worked so hard to get here. No, they didn't. No, they fucking didn't. They sold a fucking donkey and they fucking smuggled some drugs. And they smuggled some drugs across the border in exchange for some cash. Fuck that shit.
Okay.
Pisses me off. Pisses me the fuck off.
All right. Now, what I'm trying to get at is it going to be more dangerous from a societal perspective?
Yes.
If Biden wins or if Trump wins? If Biden wins, do you have to worry about, what does it look like? What does the scene look like?
The taxes are so high, the middle class collapses. Everybody who has a business or any money with anything they can actually do with flees the fucking country and our economy dies. It's the death of our economy in a nutshell.
What about Trump? Okay, so Trump wins. Does the left freak out? Is a full-on civil war?
I think if Trump wins, COVID never goes away until a Democrat wins. They're going to keep the country... If Trump wins, they're going to keep the country shut down under this pretense that there's some virus killing everybody.
Is it kind of like Groundhog's Day? If Donald Trump wins the election, 4 more years to COVID?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
All right, man. Well, we got some other stuff. We want to talk about Richard Spencer and his, endorsement of Joe Biden. Let's play a quick commercial.
Cool. We'll be right back after this commercial, folks.
The current state of entertainment and media is looking grim, and it's only getting worse every day.
I turned myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal. I'm a pickle.
Late-night talk shows have become opportunities for disgusting virtue signaling and grandstanding.
We have children without parents and fathers without sons, mothers without daughters.
Washed up hacks just laughing at their own jokes. Every major news outlet is spewing politicized garbage at you. Dishonest, opinionated propaganda.
How did you feel hearing that?
Forget about stand-up comedy. An ounce of wrong think and cancel culture will make sure you're finished.
We control TV, we do great. That's not how anti-Semitism works. Like, you can't...
Even online media has become stale. It's e-whores playing Zelda and taking money from simps.
So being like, I'm broke, I can't afford to sub, that doesn't really track. What you mean to say is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy.
Or cowardly cucks with about as much edge as a plastic spoon telling you how to think.
And let me tell you, folks, okay? Let me tell you, boy, but let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you.
The future is bleak. Hope is lost. Entertainment is dead. But there's a ray of hope shining through the despair. Murder the Media is here to help. We're bringing you original, quality entertainment you can watch from your phone and computer. Blackballed Podcast, the podcast with the blackest ball.
This minority gives me the coronavirus. How fucking dare she?
The sexy hunk Nick Oakes with the Oakes Report. The hottest way to get all the facts.
That's the level of interference you'd expect on a regular day here in Hawaii.
The Shotcast, where you can contribute to Mark and Tucker's kidney failure.
Oh, you're right to our own circle.
Decentralize now, not to be confused with Fat White ISIS.
This whole movement is very, very interested in controlling speech and intimidating you.
Thunderdome TV, the talk show that shits on everything and everyone, including you.
You know, 80% of them are fucking retards.
That's a high number.
Well, it's actually higher. I'm being generous.
Wow.
With that.
Disavowed with
Miles West and Levi Thompson.
Where no conspiracy is off limits.
It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they were fooled. I'm going to try and convince you that you were fooled.
And plenty of beautiful, hilarious sketches by yours truly, Rex Thompson.
Are you a repairman? Are you fixing a register?
Ditch the network television garbage and shitty YouTube programming. Come to where the entertainment is at dlive.tv/murder the media.
Now, we are back. Welcome back to the show. I'm not going to play the video. It is in the Telegram if you guys want to go find it. Just talking about what a piece of shit fucking Biden is. Have you seen the video? Did you see the video I sent in the Telegram?
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
About him talking about building a 700-mile fence. Apparently, walls are offensive. Fences are fine. He said we're going to build a 700-mile fence, 40 foot tall if we have to, because all the methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin coming into this country come from Mexico. That is verbatim what Biden says to a bunch of fucking potential donors, okay? That's okay because he's a liberal. Fucking retard. Fuck this motherfucker. Sorry, I'm riled up. I'm riled the fuck up. I hate this goddamn asshole.
No, Biden and Harris, it's quite the fucking combination. I don't know how people can fucking vote. Jesus.
We need a China wall.
What's it's the Great Wall of China? Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah. So Richard Spencer just we skipped the Minority Report timeline. Well, yeah, I want to give you my take on what happens. So if Biden wins, people are going to be murdered in the street, and you're not going to hear about it. If Biden wins, the attacks on free speech and the attacks on social media are going to continue. People are going to be banned, widespread. This guy's going to have access to control of you, the FBI and all these different groups. So your source of information is going to be NPR and CBS. You're gonna see what they want you to see. There's going to be even more of a communications crackdown. So there's going to be shootings and riots and burnings going on all across the country, and you're not going to be able to hear about it. You won't be able to defend yourself. White people are going to continue to get killed, and if you defend yourself, you're going to get punished for defending yourself.
They'll take your guns.
They'll take your guns. This whole scenario that's going on right now will continue, but except it'll be coming from the top. If Donald Trump wins the election, you were spot on about COVID. They're going to put us in full bodysuits. I mean, COVID's going to go on for another 40 years. We're going to hear nothing about that. and these riots going on around the country are going to explode.
Yes.
Right now, it's happening in a couple areas, but a lot of these protests are peaceful. We're just seeing on the news protests that aren't peaceful because they're getting more attention, but it's going to fucking explode if Donald Trump wins the re-election. We're talking full-on fucking war.
But Biden also made a comment not too long ago that if he wins, mandatory mask across the country.
Mandatory fucking masks.
You can look it up. You can find it very easily. I'm not going to show the article because we have other stuff to talk about, but you guys can look it up very easily if you want to. Biden made the comment, if I win, mandatory mask across the country. Now, will he actually do it? I don't know, but it speaks volumes to like the levels this guy will go to pander for votes, right?
Don Jolly says that he watched the Kenosha riots on live stream last night. I saw some of it as well. He says he saw a cop take a brick to the face live. Let me tell you what I think. I think that if Donald Trump tells the National Guard, hey, it's open season on college kids, start shooting these people, then his re-election chances are gone, okay? If he starts killing kids, there's no way. I'm not saying he shouldn't.
No, I wouldn't actually support that. You know.
Yeah, I think it would be great, but you know, I support it personally. But if he does that, he lost the vote. So I think he's like, okay, let's hold on, let's grip the wheel for like 3 more months. Let these people, give them enough rope to hang themselves, and if they can scare middle class America into voting for me again, I have nothing to lose. It's my last term. We're cracking down on this shit. No more elections to worry about. And then I think he weaponizes the he's already talking about sending in federal troops, and he just puts this shit down once and for all. That shit's going to be nasty. But they're going to deserve it. They deserve it. It should be happening now.
They absolutely deserve it.
They deserve every fucking thing they have coming to them. And the reason that it's not coming is because we have an election in a few months. So he's going to let them burn down the churches, let them kick down the gravestones of our veterans, let him scare regular people into fucking voting for Trump. And once he secures the next election, they're fucked. They're fucked.
Good. I truly believe there's more people supporting Trump than is out there actually saying it, but they're scared to do so.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump because I didn't take him seriously until he won. I voted for Johnson. I didn't think Trump was going to win. I was like, this guy. I thought he was controlled opposition for a while.
I also thought that. He was a Democrat for a long time.
I didn't take him fucking seriously until he fucking won.
No, he was.
Right now, the National Guard is down there. There's multiple fires. It's a fucking war. This is a fucking civil war.
They should call it a race war.
Right now.
They should call it a race war. It's what it is.
It's racially motivated, and it's hot. People have died.
It's a race war, my friend.
People have fucking died. No, when you see a lot of these people like Andrew Anglin, who was supporting Yang, or Richard Spencer, who's supporting Joe Biden, they can't support Trump. If they support Trump, the media narrative is alt-right racist neo-Nazis support Donald Trump. Isn't that terrible? So what they do is, Atistis says, what's Aleppo? And what is Aleppo? Aleppo is a type of dog food. Good Gary Johnson reference. Anyway, what the alt-right does is they support the Democrats. What are you going to do? Nazis support Michael Bloomberg. Nazis support Biden. There's no way to spin that in a way that hurts Donald Trump. So I think that's what's going on. I'm not really sure that Richard Spencer actually likes Joe Biden. I don't really believe that.
Well, the Democratic Party has been the party of the KKK for fucking ever. And as I said earlier, the KKK is alive and well. They're just all black now.
Yeah, you said that one earlier.
Because it's fucking true.
Let's do it. Let's do some boomer jokes. Here's another boomer one. I guess your drunk uncle's right. I guess the Democrats are the real Nazis.
You already made that joke. You can't shit on my joke and then re-say the same joke you said earlier.
It's not this. Well, they're both boomer jokes. So as long as we're doing boomer jokes, let's fucking do them.
You're a boomer.
But no, Richard Spencer says that the accelerationist vote is not Donald Trump. It's not Joe Biden. It's Donald Trump. And I agree with that. If you want to see all hell break loose, no matter what happens, shit's going to get bad. We live in a country with people we can't work with. We live in a country with people who don't understand property rights. We can't exist in the same space. So no matter what happens, shit's going to get gnarly in November. But if you want to see all hell break loose, if you want to see dead bodies, you put Donald Trump in office again. Because then Antifa and, global homo and the commies are just going to freak out. But at least at that point, in my uneducated opinion, Donald Trump won't have to worry about another election, and he can just fucking, let these people have it. So that's what I think is going to happen.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't really have much to comment on top of that.
Wake me up when November ends. Dude, that's our next video. That's our next video. That's our next fucking video. I
actually had the thing. Richard Spencer, a prominent neo-Nazi who coined the term alt-right, said on Sunday that he planned to vote for the 2020 Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. I plan to vote for Biden in a straight Democratic ticket, Spencer tweeted on Sunday. I mean, is this like a chaotic chaos candidate? Is that like kind of? I kind of feel like that's maybe what he's doing here. It's not based on accelerationism or anything like that. The liberals are just clearly more competent people.
Really?
I feel like I can feel the sarcasm like jumping out at me off the page, Shortly after, Biden's campaign forcefully disavowed Spencer's endorsement. When Joe Biden says we're in a battle for the soul of our nation against vile forces of hate who have come crawling out from under rocks, you are the epitome of what he means. Oh, dude, this is great. Oh, it's so funny. You wait. No. That's not what we mean. When we say that we're fighting against vile scum, we mean you, not the Mexicans and the blacks. God damn it. You're twisting our words, god damn it.
Biden, Uber Alice, Biden.
Oh,
dude. Don Jolly said, imagine giving a shit what some closeted faggot glow knicker thinks. His words, not mine. I think that's absolutely true. You look at everybody from the alt-right.
Good God.
They're all in prison.
We just got kicked.
Augustus is in prison. What's his name?
We just got kicked off YouTube and fucking Facebook.
Yeah, we just got... Everyone in the alt-right is gone. They're all in jail. They're all in prison. They're all gone, except for Richard Spencer. For whatever reason, this guy has a free pass, and it's not because he signed a deal with the IRS, because he was engaged in lawfare for a couple of years and it drained his trust fund dry, and he doesn't actually make money. He doesn't inherit it from his parents. He is. I think he's a CIA shill.
You think so? Really?
I think so. I think that TRS and Richard Spencer. I respect the fact that they face censorship. Like they're attacked for sharing ideas. I may not agree with the ideas, but they're attacked for sharing ideas, and I absolutely respect that, and I feel sadness for that. But I think the reason TRS and Richard Spencer got off the hook when like nobody else did is because they signed a deal.
We got to wrap it up. We got to get off of here. Mighty Midget.
I don't know what socialism is. I want to respond to this because last time I was drunk, Warpig said socialism. I want to respond to it. Socialism is a very general term that relates to nationalizing certain aspects of either the economy or society. It's very general. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. Richard Spencer is a socialist. They both disagree. Communism relates to a specific type of socialism in which all the means of production are seized by a general party. So I do know what socialism is, and it's fucking terrible.
All right, you guys can continue your pissing match later. Mighty Midget PC, which is just a fucking hysterical name to me. He is 100% a deep state agent. Also, well,
yes.
We're going to wrap this up, guys, now. There's a Blackballed podcast coming up next, followed by the Blackballed Radio. We did not reach 100 lemons tonight, so I'm not dropping the chest. You guys can suck a dick. If you want me to drop the chest, donate more money. And I'm sure me telling you guys to suck a dick and talk mean to you is definitely a good way to get you guys to donate money. So that was probably a good call there. Chemtrail, is there anything you want to say before we wrap the show up tonight, my friend?
Yeah, Warpig says socialism is community controlling the government. Okay, yeah, the community controls the government. The community controls the government. Okay. How about just like let the community control the government voluntarily in the free market and just let the community make up their own decisions at an individual level? There you go.
All right,
problem solved.
All right, I'll set up a fucking show for Warpig to fucking come on here, and you guys can debate this shit. And I guess I'll be moderator. I'll be the worst moderator because I'm just gonna laugh.
You're right, Warpig. Socialism does not mean total control. Socialism is a tendency. It's a large system that can mean certain controls of certain assets. It is not total control. Communism is total control.
This has
socialism
been
still sucks.
This has been Decentralized Now. Have a good night.
Remember, guys, if you like this podcast, if you like this network, Murder the Media, fucking click subscribe. Do it now. Don't wait. What the fuck are you thinking about it for? Just click the fucking subscribe button. Donate a few lemons. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the programming. And if you like Decentralize now and you want to help us out further, go to our Patreon page. Patreon.com/Decentralize Now. Very easy to find. Go there. Donate money. We need money. We want more money. If you want this show to get better, then we need your money. Give us your fucking money. Why are you waiting? We need it. Go. Get the fuck out of here.
Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends.
You didn't. Tell me you didn't. Tell me you didn't do it.